Action! What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning into my channel called My Miraculous Life. My name is Michael Paul, Mike PC, whatever you know me as. I just wanted to say, give yourself a high five, buddy. Boom! Because you're on the video, and while you're at it, go ahead and leave me one of these. Not your actual thumb, because that would be like kind of Mexico cartel-ish. I mean, just go ahead and click the little thumb. And don't forget to hit subscribe while you're at it. Alright, everybody. Yo, I know you're curious, what's today's video? Why does he look like, I don't know, MC Hammer or something like that, right? You know? I ain't got the baggy pants though. I'm missing that. The name of today's video is called Qualities to Look For in a Mate. That's right. I wanted to help out a couple people out there that are like maybe single and probably thinking like, oh, I don't want to end up in the same crappy relationship I was in, or I want to make sure that my relationship is going to be good when I find that person. So let's go together and let's figure out this road down the yellow brick road that leads to the wizard that's wearing a poncho that's going to lead you to a guy named Hank who has a vault to happiness. Let's open up the vault together. Let's not waste any more time while we're at it. And let's break it down. A lot of us crave and desire love. It's one of our necessities as human nature, and along with feeling respected and wanted. But when we are looking for love, sometimes we get lost in the jungle of what we think love is. So I wanted to tell you couple things of what love is not, and a couple things of what love actually is. Are you ready? Okay. So if you're single and you're going out, more than likely you're going to find this person in a social setting, right? More than likely you're going to find them going out to the club, having a bar, cheers, or maybe at friends meeting each other with another friend, or in today's day and age, you more than likely saw a profile picture of theirs and you click to friend request them and then message them after that. That's how it goes nowadays, unfortunately, in 2021. This tells you how old I really am. Laughter, right? That's the number one thing that is attractive for women to men, right? They want to have somebody that's going to make them laugh. Maybe some women like some men that are kind of serious, but at the end of the day can have a good chuckle, right? And then there's other things that qualities and characteristics they look for, like confidence, persona, charisma, and I want to say security. Security is different than confidence because security can be used financially, security can be used, he is secure within himself and his mannerisms, and confidence can be approached as like, hey, I'm willing to take the risk, and even if I lose, I'm still willing to get myself back up because I know that there's a greater give to gain after the risk is taken. Now that we got that out of the way, right? When you are talking to this person and they seem to say all of the right things and the butterflies start to happen, you have an obligation to yourself. And I know you say, wow, how are you going to ask me to ask them such personal questions? I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you to let the conversation develop organically. And if the person truly is into you, they're not going to mind you asking them any of these questions at all. No, we're going to look for somebody that is flirtatious. You want to have the butterflies. And if you're talking to somebody that doesn't give you these sort of sparkles, then maybe they're not the right person for you. The next thing that I would recommend is for somebody to make you feel special. Like a little kind of special. Special in the sense that like they don't mind taking risks to go out and show you how special you are. For some people, our comfort zones are very different. We can be in a place where we don't mind going out and buying the giant teddy bear or the bouquet of roses or maybe a romantic picnic at sunset. Just throwing out there for a couple ideas for you guys, right? But there's other guys that are very reserved and they're not as open with their expression of emotion of how they feel. So they might do something small, like just a simple text. Have a great day, beautiful. These are things that if you don't see this from this person at all, maybe it's because they're really just not into you as much as you think so. Another one that I would recommend is make sure that they are not committed. I know that we live in the day and age where people just want instant gratification. We want to feel that at any cost. But in reality, sometimes the is not worth all the, oh my God, it's not worth all that. Believe me. So you got to make sure that they are in a position where they can give you that time. And if you don't feel like they have prior commitments, it's one thing to be a parent and then they're trying to date. That's a whole nother story. That's acceptable. But I mean, if they are, I don't know, blocking you, unblocking you from their social media, if they tend to just blow you off for maybe a day entirely, or if they don't seem to just reply or care about you at all, and you see them out and about or on social media, and you're like, dude, you haven't even bothered to get back to me. Unfortunately, it is not that they are a bad person, okay? It might be more than likely they're a bad person, but we live in this time right now where people have to play the game. You guys know all about the game. The game is something that is played between two single people, unfortunately, in the beginning. And if you don't know the proper rules or etiquette to the game, guess what's more than likely going to happen? You're going to be the one who's going to end up losing and getting played at the end of the game. So, a couple things to remember here. When you're texting her or when he's texting you, keep social distance. You'd think we would have already engraved that after COVID and everything, right? Keep yourself a social distance. Don't give all of your cards right off the bat. Don't say everything that you fear or everything you desire. And I understand you have a sense of comfort for them. But most of the time, that longingness of comfort that you have is really just because you're kind of lonely and you want somebody to talk to you. It's 2021. Do you know what that means? That means that now it's not so much of the traditional time in our society where the man has to initiate something. Y'all ladies, y'all want to talk about girl power all day. Then you know what? You have the power to do something. And I love to see when I see equality in relationships where women, you guys can ask these questions. Don't wait. Some of you guys, you just ask the guy out. You don't even mind or anything like that. And that's great that you're confident and you know what you can bring to the table. You know who you are, but you know what you want. That's more important. So distinguishing yourself as one of these kinds of people that know what they want makes it a lot easier. One of the things you have to be able to know is if you live by different philosophies, and you can tell a lot by what a person finds general interest in. If they are probably commonly obsessed with things that are shallow, then more than likely they're a shallow person. If they tend to have this tendency of selfishness that you kind of see play out in their life just briefly in the beginning, then more than likely they're going to end up being very selfish with you. But if you see somebody that is compassionate and willing, and more than anything, takes time out of their day for you. That's right. Some of us have needs, and there are psychological needs that come from our parenting and how we were raised. So if your mama or daddy over babied you all the time, guess what's going to happen? You're going to want somebody that's going to be very affectionate, very clingy-esque type relationship. So, and I'm not saying that's bad, or if you have parents that raise you that are like, hey, look, my mom, my dad, like they hugged me once in a blue moon. They rarely told me when I did well, but they did. And then you have people that are that serious demeanor, and you wonder why they are the way they are. Now, if you don't know what they were raised like or what their parents were like to them, you're probably going to be in for a big surprise later down the road. Another thing, don't settle. That's probably one of the worst things you can ever do is settle. Now, what do you mean by settle? I'm not trying to disrespect your partner that you might have now or somebody that you are interested in. Is what I'm saying. If they don't have the most important qualities to you that they represent or they show, then you really shouldn't settle just because you're lonely. Now, with that being said, there is some people that have a lot of emotional baggage with them. And if you are not completely over or fully healed from a traumatic devastation that's happened to your heart, then a lot of those fears and a lot of the anguish that you felt from your prior relationship, you're going to bring into something that hasn't even come to fruition yet. So, be cautious and guard your heart. Make sure that you keep that social distance away. The more you find that they are in pursuit of you, the more you're going to realize how much they're worth your time. We throw away our time, which is the most valuable thing that we have, because we can't get it back once it passes. So if we waste our time on people that are frankly not worth your time, your romance, your affection, then you're going to end up with a bigger regret than where you started. Make sure that you know, okay, when you first start dating somebody, and this goes men and women, it's not until like a month or two into it that you are going to meet the real person you decided to date. Ask me how I know this, because you, until that moment, are meeting their representative. That's right. The guy that seems to know it all, very confident and arrogant in his ways, that brags about his accomplishments, right? And shows up in the nicest clothes. And then you have the woman with the giant heels and the false eyelashes, and is very sophisticated and seems to be Miss Independent completely, until a month into it, when all of the scales start to fall and peel off, and you start to see the situation for what it really is. As long as you're aware that this is what that is, you're not going to be swept off, surprised, thrown off. Another thing that we go into is who you decide to be. Don't portray to be somebody that you're not. If you are mistrusting, advise them that you're mistrusting. If you have anger issues, and if it's tough for you to even admit that to yourself, but if you have anger issues, you should probably advise the person that you're deciding to talk to that, hey, I got a temper and I might blow up on you. So it doesn't just totally discourage them and catch them off guard. It's kind of difficult for people nowadays to date, because what I realize is that today's day and age is all about instant gratification. It's about what you can get, what you want, and as fast as you can get it. And if you don't believe me, why is it that you get irritated when you're in the drive-thru and it's been 3 minutes that you haven't got your food? Why is it you get mad when you're in line for the restroom and you think to yourself, it's only been 2 minutes, but you're still, frankly, quite irritated? It's because you want what you want when you want it right now. But we all know that the best things take time. The best things for us that make us the happiest take time. That's what they take. You can order a cheeseburger and get mad that you're waiting 4 minutes for that. Or you can order a porterhouse steak and be very satisfied after the 20-minute wait it took to get there. That's what it's like with a relationship. You want to set a steady foundation with that person. I'm going to help you see clearly right now. I'm going to tell you that if you don't know, you have value. You have something to bring to the table. You have attributes of sensitivity, strength, courage, independence. You have something to bring to that relationship. And as long as you're aware of what your qualities are, you need to be aware of looking for what their qualities are and see if they mesh with yours. Because they're in contrast to what yours are. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to be in constant conflict with each other. So, with that being said, you should probably look for somebody that likes the same things as you. Don't look so much at the exterior, but look at the interior of somebody. And they're going to display it in how they act, how they uphold themselves, and more than anything, if they are a gentleman or if they are a lady. If these aren't things that are important to you, then maybe you should just date whoever you want and end up with the results that you've had. I'm just trying to give you a helpful word of advice for the future, for that future special relationship. And when you are with them after 1 or 2 years, you can look back at this video and say, that really did help me. Have a great day, you guys.